Good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is where you are tuning in. Welcome back to another thoughtful wander through the world's headlines with me, Alvin, your guide here at Greenground. I hope you're settling in with a warm cup of something comforting as we ease into this crisp Wednesday. There's so much stirring across the globe right now. Stories that tug at the heart, spark the mind, and remind us of our shared humanity. Let's dive in together, shall we? I'll weave these threads into a tapestry of what's capturing attention, reflecting on the ripples they send through communities far and wide. Picture this, the sun dipping low over Sydney's iconic Bondi beach, where families and friends have gathered in Archer Park for the joyous lighting of the first Hanukkah candle. Approximately 1,000 people laughing, celebrating light amid the encroaching dusk. Then, in a heartbreaking instant, 2 gunmen open fire on the crowd. 15 lives lost, including a young child, and 40 others wounded. Among them, police officers rushing to the scene. One perpetrator killed by authorities, the other captured after a brave bystander disarmed him. Turns out they were father and son. A suspected bomb even found in their car. Australian leaders have called it deliberate, a targeted assault on the Jewish community during their sacred holiday. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese spoke of it as an attack on Jewish people specifically, and voices from the Australian Jewish Association echoed the deep pain, while the Zionist Federation framed it as an assault on Australia's very values, our right to gather freely without fear. Even the Australian National Imams Council stepped forward, urging unity and rejecting violence outright. Synagogues and schools shuttered the next day, Jewish communities from Sydney to South Australia on high alert, with extra police at Hanukkah events in places like Adelaide. It's a stark reminder of how fragile peace can be, especially when hatred tries to dim the lights of celebration. Around the world, supporters are rallying, gatherings in solidarity, messages of compassion pouring in. In moments like these, we see the best of us rise, bystanders turning heroes, leaders calling for cohesion, neighbors standing together. Shifting our gaze to Iran, where courage meets adversity in the story of Narges Mohammadi, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate whose name has become synonymous with human rights advocacy. Recently arrested by security forces, she's been rushed to the hospital not once but twice. Her family is voicing urgent concerns about her medical condition and the legal process is unfolding. Mohammadi's journey, from prison writings that moved the world to this latest chapter, highlights the unyielding spirit of those who speak truth amid suppression. It's a poignant call to reflect on the personal costs of standing for justice and how one voice can echo across borders. Over in Colombia, tensions are simmering along another fault line. 2. Police officers lost their lives in an attack claimed by the National Liberation Army, or ELN, right as protests swelled against an uptick in U.S. military presence. Officials are pointing to the timing amid these demonstrations, underscoring how local grievances can intersect with international dynamics. It's a delicate balance, where security clashes with calls for sovereignty, leaving us to ponder the paths toward dialogue in such volatile terrains. Then there's Ukraine, where President Volodymyr Zelensky offers a glimmer of diplomatic movement. He's shared updates on peace talks progressing, even if thorny territorial questions linger without consensus. On a practical note, some 30 countries are lining up to support a reparations mechanism, a framework to help rebuild what war has torn asunder. In the shadow of prolonged conflict, these steps feel like quiet victories, small bridges built over chasms of disagreement, reminding us that negotiation, however slow, is the antidote to endless strife. Sudan's plight weighs heavily, topping the International Humanitarian Crisis Watch List for the 3rd year running. Conflict-fueled displacement has created urgent needs on a massive scale. Families uprooted, resources stretched thin. It's a crisis that demands our sustained attention, not just headlines, but global action to alleviate suffering that's all too human. Along the Cambodia-Thailand border, heavy fighting drags into its 2nd week. Cambodian reports detail Thai strikes reaching perilously close to shelters housing displaced civilians. Border skirmishes like these, rooted in long-standing disputes, pull at the fabric of regional stability, affecting innocents caught in the crossfire and urging cooler heads to prevail. In the heart of Europe, the Czech Republic ushers in a new era with a coalition government sworn in, led by businessman Andrej Babiš. This political transition marks a shift, blending entrepreneurial savvy with governance, and we'll be watching how it navigates the complexities of EU ties and domestic priorities. Stateside, Capitol Hill is buzzing with classified briefings in the Senate over a recent military strike tied to Venezuela. Lawmakers are divided, some pressing for more transparency, others defending operational secrecy, creating friction in the halls of power. It's a snapshot of how foreign policy flashpoints ignite domestic debates, testing oversight and unity. And weaving through it all, those quieter currents in global roundups. Devastating floods and landslides in Indonesia claiming lives and livelihoods. Political figures facing releases or reckonings in various corners. Shifts in media landscapes from Vietnam to Belarus. Each a thread in the vast human story. You know, as I sit here reflecting on these events, what strikes me most is our interconnectedness. A shooting in Sydney sends shockwaves to Jewish communities worldwide, from Adelaide's Holocaust Museum tributes to global vigils. Iran's internal struggles resonate with freedom fighters everywhere. Colombia's streets echo protests we've seen from Hong Kong to Paris. Ukraine's talks mirror painstaking pieces past, like post-World War accords. Sudan's crisis parallels famines we've vowed never to repeat. Border clashes evoke old maps redrawn in blood. Czech shifts remind us democracies churn. U.S. debates on strikes hearken to Vietnam-era distrust. Indonesia's disasters call for climate solidarity. It's all linked. Hatred in one place fuels fear elsewhere, but so does compassion. This is why we gather here at Greenground, to make sense of the swirl, to find the light in the stories. Whether it's the heroism at Bondi, Mohammadi's resilience, or Zelensky's progress reports, these narratives shape our world. They invite us to be more empathetic, more engaged, more united. If this resonated with you, hit that like button. It really helps us reach more ears and eyes. Drop a comment below. What's on your mind from today's stories? How can we stand stronger together? Subscribe for these daily dives into news, tech, and entertainment, and check the description for deeper links, resources, and ways to connect. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation alive. Until tomorrow, stay curious, stay kind. This is Alvin signing off from Greenground.